3-0 final. Wow. Moving up the ladder.
Watch out, Tulsa.
It's impressive. Jeez, they're falling off the map. Winless in 4 straight. Tulsa. Winless in 4 straight and only one win in the last 5.
And they had 5 straight wins before that.
Oh. Gross. Well, it's like Birmingham, right? They win like 9 in a row. They just fall off the cliff.
Oh, geez, one just now. Damn.
It's strength versus strength tonight from Southern California with one of the hottest teams in the country trying to protect home field. USL Championship action brought to you by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedics Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC, gives you Charleston Battery and Orange County SC. Greetings, everyone. With former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. Happy to hang out with you tonight in the 949. Gary, Western Conference standings, top to bottom. Orange County right smack dab in the middle of this thing.
Unbelievable what a run they have had. The form side in the USL looking at level with Oakland Roots. A win would take them above San Diego into 3rd spot.
Not bad for them. 37 points in Charleston Battery. A couple points better, 43. But you see the record, 12, 6, and 7. This team has a ton of confidence right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been fantastic under Ben Pierman in his first season at the Battery, and a win takes them into 2nd spot, and they'll only be 1 point behind Pittsburgh Riverhounds, so a lot on the line tonight.
I'm glad you brought up Pittsburgh because they had a troubling night a few days ago against this man, Milan Alaski.
Yeah, they've been all Pittsburgh in the first half, and that one just bounces off the back of Ordonez, but Milan Alaski's so brutal when it comes to taking chances and burying them. One of the most clinical strikers in the whole of the USL.
Yeah, Milan Alaski has been so dynamite this season. He's scored 4 goals in the last 5 matches. He's got 11 so far in the campaign. What makes him so deadly?
Just his ability, his coolness on the ball, his accuracy. He's got 4 assists as well. And he scores crucial goals. The only goal in the match against Pittsburgh, the only one against New Mexico. You know, those are critical goals, and he pops up time and time again.
And then for Charleston Battery, Augie Williams, he's a dynamic playmaker.
Also a wonderful player. He had 10 goals and 2 assists from the 6-year-old player. You have to look at that chest it. The only goal against Detroit City, does so well to chest it into his path and then just bang that into the back of the net past Nate Steinwasser.
And they've won 3 of their last 5 and gotten a positive decision in 4 of 5. Coming up next, we got a game to be played. Starters, first touch coming up next from Orange County. It's Orange County SC, Charleston Battery coming up next.
From north to south,
east to west,
from Laguna Beach to Irvine,
de Buena Park a San Clemente,
and all 34 cities in between.
For the last 10 years, this has been
Orange County's own
entertainment, community,
Campeones, Colors,
Crest, Pro Soccer Club.
Orange County's own Community Kit.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
Here in Irvine, there's something for everyone. You can satisfy your sweet tooth here or here. Cool off with freshly picked berries or catch some rays. Get some post-worthy views or rock out with your friends. Raise your adrenaline or just relax. It's master planned with you in mind. Irvine awaits.
And we are live here from Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. Temperature's about 86 degrees in Southern California. With Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. Gary, the starters tonight brought to you by Kimco Staffing.
Yeah, a couple of changes for both sides. In fact, they both made 2 changes, starting with Orange County. Brian Olowski is back on that right side. Kevin Langford goes to the bench, and Seth Kasipli preferred to Ashish Chatter in that sort of attacking, or in this case, defensive midfield role.
On one side for Orange County SC, they've won 5 straight matches to be in a dogfight now in the Western Conference. Other side of the ledger, Eastern Conference. Charleston coming to town. How do they deploy amongst their 11?
Yeah, they've also got 2 changes. Robbie Crawford and Pierre Reedy going to the bench. Beto Avila and Nick Markanek is back. Nick Markanek, of course, such a wonderful striker there. So Barajas on one side, Markanek, Augie Williams up front. Wynn will be on the left full back, Dodson on the right. So a few players out of place there, but they'll all fit in eventually. Partida, by the way, probably the defensive midfielder for Orange County. Seth Kasipli more in the attacking role.
It's interesting. Orange County played a couple nights ago. They did so at home against Pittsburgh, a top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. Charleston comes to town, a top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. Will the legs be there early for Orange County, do you think?
Good question, and something the Charleston Battery intend to test out. They say they're going to see if there are any weary legs, but a good performance against Pittsburgh. A game by Orange County, defended extremely well. Only had a couple of chances, but that's all that Milan Olowski needs.
Kind of weird saying this, and this is not some kind of back to the future moment, but there have been threats of a tropical storm as this match is officially underway. Charleston moving from left to right on your screen. Orange County SC will be moving from right to left. Yeah, Hurricane Hillary is moving up the coastline from Baja, California, up to Southern California. It'll travel through Mexico at about 110 miles per hour up to San Diego before it tapers off in Los Angeles. And then it'll make its way to Sin City, Las Vegas to be exact, before it gets to the upper echelon parts of Nevada. But odd, because we see some of that in Louisiana, Florida, maybe Texas, but not California. And here we are.
Well, hopefully it doesn't affect this game, because that's the only focus right now for everyone. All Charleston fans are thinking, hey, we can still win the East and have all the home games. And Orange County fans are believing once again. After a very poor start, Morton Carlson takes over. And it's been a case of 8 wins from the last 9 games. And not against easy sides. When you go back and look at, they beat Pittsburgh last match out. They've beaten a couple of other really good teams like Sacramento Republic. This is an Orange County team on fire.
Which is fascinating to see, not only because of what they're doing and who they're doing it against, but the recovery from 2022. Because that's exactly what it was. You look at Milan Olowski, he had a lights-out campaign, but he had no support around him.
Yeah, to be the top goal scorer in a year in which your team don't play very well is unbelievable. But it was all sort of lying and waiting for Morton Carlson, and now he's taken over. He's bringing them to life.
It certainly is the case, as this will be a goal kick. Charleston efficient all season long, and one of the strengths to their club here in 2023 is the ability to withstand pressure from the opposition and not have those extended losing streaks that we've seen with certain clubs in both the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference of USL Championship. And that's a sign of a team that can make a deep run in postseason play.
Yeah, they certainly can, Charleston. 25 points on the road is the best in the USL. So this is a tough, battling outfit. And of course, you've got to look at the coach, Ben Pearman, first season, and what a difference he has made from a team that didn't even make the playoffs last season to a team that is looking to top the East.
I don't know how long we talked to Ben Brian a couple days ago, but the conversation we had with him, it probably could have gone on for several minutes. He was extremely engaging, and it was just one of those types of conversations that we had. And Ben was just glowing about his team. He really raved about them, but he's not content.
Oh, absolutely. He wants better from the side in many different areas, and he's been looking for improvement all the time. But he's brought some great players in, the likes of Chris Allen and Declan Wynn. They've all made a massive improvement to this side.
Take a look here at Patterson's keys to the game. Gary, who do you have amongst the keys here in this contest?
Well, I think the obvious one for Orange County is good service into Milan Olowski. With the way he scores goals, Thomas Among, Brian, his brother Olowski, they've all got to just look for him and get ball to him. I think the interesting one for Charleston is watch second phase ball. That means that when balls come in from corners, set pieces, crosses, and they're not cleared immediately, that's been a problem for Charleston. Ben Pearman very annoyed that a lot of those balls have ended up in the back of the net. So he wants his team to either clear the ball first time, or if it does become a second phase ball, get tighter and stop teams benefiting from this situation.
Is that more of a physical mishap from the club, or is it more of a lack of mental fortitude?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, but you know, when your job at a corner is to mark a certain area or a player, you've got to do that job. If you lose, that's when it becomes a second phase ball. It gets knocked into a danger area, as we see Trey Muse getting that one out of trouble. So I think Ben Pearman wants his players to win the battle first time around and not have to deal with a second phase ball bouncing around the box.
Fair enough. We just saw Trey Muse, 9-5-5 record, goals against at 147. Goals against is sharp, save percentage at 636. 7 clean sheets in the campaign. And Olowski, the team's leading striker on the year, making his 25th start in now 25 matches. This one played through at the top of the box. Back post, the header on goal. Easy stop though for Muse. Probably the easiest one of the night for him. An early threat from Orange County.
Yeah, Carl Scott with a header. I'm just wondering, if you can't generate power, can you square it back across the box for somebody else? Because a lovely ball in, and he was free at the back post. Carl Scott didn't seem to do much with a decent opportunity.
Looking for his first goal of the season. Only has 3 helpers on the campaign, making his 23rd appearance here in 2023. Is this a result in a goal kick, a quarter kick for Orange County? Orange County 11 up, 9 down, and 4 draws, 5-4-2 at home, even 500 at ball on the road. And as Gary had mentioned, Warren Carlson, the interim coach, steps in and has done a fine job evening things out, if you will. Service, and Muse comes out off of his line, cleans things up.
Good goalkeeping from Trey Muse at 24. He really is a talent, but big, tall, comfortable, confident, comes and plucks that one out of the sky. Another good signing by Ben Pearman to bring him into the club. And he's got 8 clean sheets already this season. A big factor in why Charleston are so high up in the East.
Misspoke. Orange County SC is 6-4-2 at home. I beg your pardon. Can't slight them on that. Every victory does count. And the most recent one against Pittsburgh is a critical one. 1-0 victory, their 5th in a row. Charleston Battery coming off a victory, as we mentioned, against Detroit. August the 12th on the road as well. Hard to believe, though, Gary, as we're in the middle portion of August and this season is quickly dwindling away.
It is. For some teams, only 7 or 8 games left and a lot of work to be done. Fortunately for Orange County, after this fantastic run, I think their playoff place is probably secure. They're just looking to get as high up and get as many home games as possible. That certainly wasn't the case when Morton Carlson took over. They were, I think, sitting 11th out of 12 and in desperate trouble. And what a turnaround it has been. I think you can see the confidence in these orange shirts the way they're playing now.
It certainly does build up as the season goes along with winning. Dogman. This one broken up at the last moment. And it's not all Milan Olaski, although he gets a lot of the praise for the damage he does scoring the ball, but he's got some complementary pieces with him for the party.
Oh, absolutely. And defensively against Pittsburgh, they were brilliant on the day, took a lot of pressure from a very good Pittsburgh side, but Marcus Nakim, Dylan Powers at the back, they were strong. Colin Shuttler in goals has been very solid, but it's all Milan Olaski's ability to turn a half chance into a goal.
Dogman again gave this ball up. Olaski searching and wanted it. Could not get to it as it was broken up again outside the box. Fans rowdy early on. And this results in a throw-in for Charleston Battery. 8th minute right now. Not a lot of heavy activity. More so for Orange County towards target than Charleston early on.
And just speaking to Morton Carlson a couple of days ago, he said, you know, you're playing midweek. What's the story for you? He said it's just a couple of light training sessions. Take it easy. Let the guys' legs recover and have them ready for the game. So that's how he has prepared his team for this match today.
As the season goes along too, Gary, you more inclined as a manager to take those days off just to walk and watch tape?
Yeah, I think so. I think you do need to rest the body, let recovery. The players are fit by now. They're mentally tuned in. You've got playoffs to come, so you don't want to overstress the body and end up losing players through hamstring injuries or whatever. So yeah, it is a careful looking after the players at this stage. The managers they count the minutes, they look at the players psychologically, they rotate. Both managers making 2 changes today to keep players, you know, battling for places on the one hand and also resting legs wherever possible.
We'll keep an eye on everything that is the Western Eastern Conference. The standings continue to move all the way up and down the board. See Ryan Dogman there. He's had his fair share of vocal activity. Olaski switches the pitch. Over was brother Bryant. Bryant, no numbers. Transition pretty good. That strike on goal misses by a good couple feet. Hughes had a beat on it though.
That's a great effort cutting in the way he did. Beat a lot of players and got the shot off, which is the most important thing of all. And have a look at the end when he gets the shot off, there's 5 white shirts around him. That's a really good effort there by Brian Iloski.
A little puzzling because it looked like Chris Allen backed off a little bit defensively versus Brian. Turned inside out. Match is still scoreless though. No major changes for Charleston. 43 points. And they've captured 7 victories on the road, as Gary had mentioned. 7-2-4 away from home. Team that can win on the road is a threat to win it all.
Yeah, every chance. But again, it's what Ben Pearman has brought to the side. This real focus, this dogged mentality. He's got some really good players that he's brought in. Derek Dodson being another one of those. Came in from Memphis, and he's been a powerhouse down that right-hand side, as Declan Wynn has been down the left.
Spent his time with Memphis 2002. Did
some damage with them in 30 matches. Now he's got a new kit on. So the sun setting out west. Barajas can't keep it. This one just forced out of bounds, and then it results in a goal kick. Temperatures comfortable today in Irvine with the sun setting out west, and cloudy skies provide a little bit of a brace for each keeper. No sun, no distraction. So anything marked for a top corner, they should have a beat on it, assuming it does not have a lot of steam coming from a specific striker like Augie Williams or Milanowski. But no promises. Interesting challenge there that'll result in a foul. Kevin Partita, the guilty party.
Yep. Defensive midfielder for Orange County, the number 6 in position. Number 19 on his back, but the number 6, as we would say, as a defensive midfielder, and does a hell of a good job in front of the back 4 for Orange County.
Charleston Battery, for all the good that they have done, goal differential right now sits only at +2. That should be an area of concern for them. They're not picture perfect on the year. They certainly have some things that they can build on.
There's a good reason for that. They got beat 7-0 by San Antonio at home, and they followed that with a 4-0 thrashing by Indy at home. So in 2 matches, they shipped 11 goals. And it's been a real Jekyll and Hyde because, and speaking to Ben Pearman after the San Antonio thumping, he just said, look, just a reminder to us that we're good, but we're not that good. We need to keep on improving every which way, which I thought was a fair take on the match.
When things fall, they certainly do fall off, but they're right smack dab in the middle of the playoff hunt. And where they are, 3rd position right now in the Eastern Conference. It's anyone's guess who's going to come out of the East, because Pittsburgh has been strong ever since the US Open Cup. It felt like they were floundering around, got inside the US Open Cup, made their way deep into it before they were eventually eliminated, but that really provided them a spark. Tampa Bay was rather dormant the first month and a half. Rowdy's recovered. And then you have Memphis around and Louisville, the usual suspects. Miloski wanted it back and got it. Here's Brian. Allen marking him. Allen trying to steal that away and depossess him. Charleston does. It's a nice job there with possession.
Orange County a bit more on the front foot than they were midweek against Pittsburgh. Chatting to Morten Carlson, he was saying to us that they just were so slow to get going. They had 11-day break, and they just couldn't get into first gear. They couldn't get going, and he said it was his assistant next to him, Paul Hardiman, who was screaming at the players, and he realized then that they clearly weren't attacking as much as they should be.
Partita was on the back post, passed, never got to him. Kasimpli had it, lost it. This one pushed forward by Charleston, but Augie Williams couldn't corral it in. Is that surprising for you with a team like Orange County to have such a slow start towards the tail end of the season, midweek?
Well, it was because they had a 10-day break, 11-day break.
Yeah.
That's what Morten Carlson's view was, that they just took them a little while to get going. And he also said, to be fair, Pittsburgh are one hell of a team.
Yeah.
And they just came at them from every angle. And he said they were just running around, plugging holes, defending as best they could. And then up pops Milanowski in the 40th minute, and guess what? They were 1-0 ahead.
All of a sudden, yeah, you go off the mat onto the board, and you take those 3 points, and everything you did prior to that does not matter. They've had a couple chances early on in this contest, nothing too threatening. Back the other way, Markanik takes a spill. No foul being called there.
He's a good player to have back in the team, Nick Markanik. 7 goals this season. You add that to the 10 of Augie Williams, and that's an impressive lineup of 17 goals between them. And then you've got the skills of Barajas, who at 17 is just prodigious talent, and waiting for him to really grow over the next year or two and possibly even move up to MLS and higher.
It's a fascinating situation here with Charleston Battery. A good year, but they certainly have work in front of them. Priority number one for both these clubs is to garner enough points in the regular season to play at home in round number one. And if you can do that, you give yourself quite the fighting chance. Dogman pinballed back to him.
I'm pretty sure Charleston have that because the top three teams have a big gap between them and Memphis. So you would think Charleston will almost likely have the first match at home no matter what happens. After that, though, they want to make sure they get ahead of Tampa Bay and even catch up to Pittsburgh. If they can do that, then who knows? They might have all the games at home bar the actual final.
Yeah, that would be fascinating and fun for the locals there. Charleston, quite the scene. It's a good sports town. Doesn't matter what it is. Soccer, football, hockey. Fans, all they need is a decent excuse to go out and play and watch their teams compete, and they get after it.
Well, to be fair, the Battery have made the playoffs, I think, the previous 8 seasons. Last season was the first time in a long time they didn't, and that was, I think, a big shock to the Battery fans. But good news for them is, under Ben Pierman, they're almost certainly back in the playoffs, and the first game should, 99% certain, should be at home.
They'll be rocking there back in Charleston. Better believe it. And Orange County will be popping off here in the 9-4-9 if they can be hosting a playoff game or 2. Now they've won 5 straight, so it's not impossible that they could have a home playoff contest, but they still need to climb the ladder. Still have a handful of matches left in the regular season. They have a date with Sacramento on the horizon. Last I checked, that won't be easy.
And the thing for Orange County is, as opposed to the East, where Charleston have a big gap behind them, big cushion, Orange County have no cushion. They've got Oakland Roots right next to them. San Diego Loyal could be there. Colorado Springs. All these teams are right within a point or 2 of them at this moment in time. So, yeah, you're right. Lots of work for Orange County to do yet, even though they are the informed side in the USL. They lost a lot of points early on in the season, and they're still not guaranteed that home place. They're still not guaranteed a place in the playoffs. To be honest, that's how tight it is in the West.
To answer your question, if you're an Orange County fan, yes, you do have Las Vegas on the schedule remaining. But you close out with San Antonio and Monterey Bay. That won't be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Augie Williams was asking for service. Williams on the run. The bicycle kick whipped. Avila pivoting, firing. That one hit a defender in front. Kasipli had it. Avila spins it over to the right-hand side. Played through that one, redirected towards target. It goes wide. Augie Williams on the doorstep. This match still scoreless.
That ball was bouncing all over the place. In the end, Derek Dodson gets the shot in, but the ball not back here. And you can see Avila tries to open up a little gap, turns and hits it, but that gets blocked. Ball comes back out to Derek Dodson in a moment. Just plays it there, it sets it up nicely for him. And it goes to Augie Williams, and then there's just which body stopped the ball, I'm not sure. But it was good defensive work from Orange County if it was a defender that blocked the shot.
Colin Shuttler down on his knees right now. See if we can go back to that sequence, because that is hectic for a keeper. And Gary, in situations like this, if you are Colin Shuttler, are you more inclined to play passively and on your line, or do you want to come out and challenge in those situations?
I think you have to wait on your line to see what Derek Dodson does. But when the shot came in, I think his own player was there. They probably went for it together and collided. Difficult to see exactly what happened. But in the end, the bottom line, the most important thing for Colin Shuttler is they managed to get the ball out for a corner and away from the danger zone for the moment.
Thomas Among having a quick conversation right now. Corner kick brought to you by True Path Loans. Second one of the night, officially one for each side coming up here. See what Barajas does here with the left foot.
It's a magic left foot he's got. So remember the goal he scored in the first game of the season when he bent it into the top corner from the edge of the box. Was a wonder strike. It can't expect that from him all the time at the age of 17, but he certainly has that potential.
Sacramento, California. Let's fill it up on the stat sheet. Barajas, line drive, 4 feet up in the air. Hanging for a brief moment. Orange County with an opportunity to get this thing into harm's way, and they do. Fans showing up and showing out here tonight in Championship Soccer Stadium. And we got a brief moment. Cabanas are back again for the 2023 OCSC season, so don't miss out on all the fun exclusive amenities they have to offer. These cabanas were designed specifically with group outings in mind and include 20 match tickets and a private bar for you and your guests. So book your premium experience today at orangecountysoccer.com/premium. Always enjoy the hot summer nights in Southern California. You can't go wrong.
That's your home state, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Are you a surfer guy?
I was not, but surf the web. Look at plenty of waves up and down the coastline, whether it's in Orange County, Huntington Beach, Seal Beach, Augie Williams with a step. Can't get to it. And you go up the coastline, San Clemente down south, but Hermosa, Manhattan, Malibu, so on and so forth. A little dance and a two-way step. Avila getting together. No harm, no foul by Beto, but he was called for the foul against Kyle Scott. They have the kind of beaches in the UK that they do here in Southern California, do they, Gary?
You are kidding me, aren't you?
Oh, man.
But before you have beaches, you've got to have sunshine. You don't get that in the UK.
Circle gets the square. Here's Olaski with a chip. Nobody home.
No, to answer your question, no, there's no beaches, there's no sunny days for the beaches, which is why the UK moves out en masse in summer and goes off to Spain and Portugal and
exactly what I was
Italy.
Get on a bird and go out to Lisbon or go out to Porto, Portugal. They'll have some fun and a few drinks along the way.
Yeah, it's difficult for folk in the USA to understand Great Britain because it's an island, which means it always rains. Here, even your cold areas have a summer. It might only be 2-3 months, but it's normally a great summer. Chicago or someplace like that. Manchester, trust me, and I was there 10 years playing soccer. Manchester doesn't have a summer. It has warm rain or it has cold rain, but nothing else.
Man, get out of Dodge. Kasipli at midfield. As we're in the 24th minute right now, Milan Olaski, team leading 11 goals in the campaign, looking for a whole lot more than that. Top of the box, nice touch, Brian Olaski, another sweet pass, but a little bit too tough on the service. That one fed all the way through the box, and it goes out of bounds. Quick, decisive action, though, from Orange County.
There's Ben Pearman giving some instructions to his side. This will be the 50th win for Ben Pearman in the USL, should he win today. 49 in 94 games, so it'd be 50 in 95 should his team get the 3 points. So a good return. That's better than 1 every 2 games, a win. So it just shows you again the success of Ben Pearman.
Well, it really has rejuvenized this club. Give them not only something to think about in the future, but right now. Charleston Battery haven't done a whole heck of a lot with possession in this first half. They had 1-0 threat with Augie Williams mixing it up with Colin Shuttler in between his pipes. But that's been it. Allen gets it back. Allen working the long way, and this one will dribble out of bounds. Well, we got a brief moment. Orange County SC's 4th annual Corporate Cup returns for 2023. Don't miss out on your chance to play where the pros play with your office. Sign up today at orangecountysoccer.com/corporate-cup.
Well, again, just getting back to Morten Carlson and what a difference he's made at Orange County. When we chatted to him, he said, and we said, well done, congratulations on the win over Pittsburgh. He said, you won't believe it, but it didn't feel like a good performance to us. The locker room was really quiet.
Dealing with a strike, that one rejected on the way through. Well, Beto's had a couple looks so far, Gary. This should result in a booking.
Yep, no question, it should be a booking. He was just saying the locker room was quiet. Even though they beat Pittsburgh, the players knew they hadn't played that well and they weren't happy. So that's the standards that Orange County are setting themselves.
First throw of the night.
You know, this is a silly yellow for Declan Wood. I get the frustration, but if you're on the edge of the box, fine. But, you know, you're in the opponent's half here. You've got cover coming from Emilio Ikaza. Now you're on a yellow card. You've got to watch every tackle from now on.
Yellow card brought to you by SoCal Gas. Wins first one of the night. He's only got 3 on the season, including that one.
I always think you want to keep those yellow cards in your pocket for when you need them, edge of the box.
Yeah.
Someone's beaten you, they're going into a danger area, then you can pull it out and take the yellow. But to do that now when there's so much of the game left and in the opponent's half of the pitch, I just don't necessarily think that's a good footballing decision.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. By no stretch of the imagination. That was a sweet move by Partita. Up to the middle of the field. And now on the attack. Ryan Dogman almost overplayed his hand there. Onside, we'll see. Official with the flag up. That strike glances off the crossbar and it stays away. Well, that was perfect service. And Trey Muse got bailed out. Orange County continues to deliver some pressure right now. Just outside the 18. More flirting, another strike with the left foot. This thing never had a chance as we look back at what was, Gary.
Yeah, Brian Olowski, what a start he's had to this match, causing trouble every which way. Just chips there, gets that ball over the keeper, hits the crossbar. Trey Muse very lucky there. It's a lovely ball through for him. Not quite sure how the defense were caught that easily. Question marks on Juan Palmer there. But Trey Muse, maybe he would have got it if it had dropped under the crossbar, but that was touch and go. Good moment again for Brian Olowski.
So Brian with a fine touch, trying to get on the board. Just enough finesse on it to get it over Muse, but unfortunate for him, 2 airborne.
Well, if it's not one Olowski, it seems to be the other. They're watching Milan and Brown pops up, and that's the second good chance he's had. He had a good shot going, flashing just wide of the post a little bit earlier in the game.
Well, they heard your keys to the match, and so it was right on cue. Unfortunate for them, they didn't go into the back of the net. That's the first break of the contest for Charleston. This one broken up at the very last moment by Palma. Orange County, though, looking for the first marker in this affair. Allen trying to switch the pitch. Augie Williams. Start's been good for Orange County compared to where they were on Wednesday night. But how would you evaluate Charleston to this point?
I think both teams have been decent. As you say, Orange County better, more on the front foot than they were. But look at Charleston. They've been threatening as well.
Dotson here with some space. Augie Williams, a lot of trouble. That one can't go through. He's dangerous with the right or the left foot. But again, good resistance from the back line of Orange County, and it stays away. Allen with an intercept. He wants it back. Pretty sweet pivot by Avila. This one bouncing around, and now Orange County and Kyle Scott to midfield. Scott waving everybody on. Milan Olowski had a step, but that ball had too much steam, and coming out was Trey Muse.
Just spotted something that Thomas Among and Kyle Scott having an argument. Thomas Among made a run, didn't get the ball, and then stopped running, just refused to run, and then stood there arguing with Kyle Scott. So a little bit of unhappiness in the ranks there at Orange County.
It's a good eye. We'll see if we can go back to that on replay.
I mean, sometimes not a bad thing, because players push each other and you say, hey, you know, you need to do better, and that person will tell you when you need to do better. So it is part and parcel of the game. But the fact that Thomas Among just stopped running to have the argument, that's what surprised me for a moment.
Interesting that the time it occurred here is in the 31st minute, not in the 70th or 80th minute, when there might be more mounting pressure. We'll see if we can find it.
Let's have a look if we can see it. See Thomas Among the top of the screen there. Okay, this is not the one. This is the earlier chance by Noloski. Lovely little chip over Trey Muse, hits the crossbar and comes back. So close.
I don't know how he stayed on side, but he did. It's a great play by Brian. Good anticipation. And this thing is finally coming down. A brief rainmaker that Shuttler gets underneath. See what kind of adjustment Charleston makes as this match goes along. One crossbar for Orange County. Shots right now are even at 2-2, as this one had to be peeled back to Shuttler. It does feel like Orange County has had the better moments in this affair. They have a brief advantage too in the possession category.
Interesting that Ben Pearman said one of his game plans was to move the ball from side to side, from Dodson at right back to Declan Wynn at left back. He felt that by being lateral across the pitch, you could pull Orange County all over the place and open up some gaps. So that was his game plan. Not quite sure that it's working. I think they've been pretty good going directly from front to back, Charleston Battery, which has worked for them all season. But we'll keep an eye on that left to right movement, see if it does come into play a bit more.
Make sure you stay with us at the break. Gary and myself will have first half highlights, some stats. We'll take a peek around USL Championship with some news and notes and real-time standings, and give you a feel and an idea of the playoff positioning amongst everybody across the country. Nice little forearm shiver to the kidneys by Dogma.
It's a contact sport, so you got to take the knocks, and I guess you got to give them as well.
Leland Archer making his 21st appearance of the season. All 21 times he has started. Augie Williams jammed on the brakes. Avila looking with the left foot, trying to tee it up. Can't. He has to peel this one back. The spacing's been nice by Charleston when they've been on the approach, but unfortunate for them, a lot of these shots, Gary, have been either redirected towards target or just well off the mark or completely blocked.
Again, Orange County, I thought, were fantastic in defense against Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who are really a very, very good side, and they dealt with all the pressure and managed to keep it a clean sheet, and that just shows you how good they are in defense, Orange County, which, by the way, 2 years ago when they won the championship, that's how they got through. 0-0s, they got into the playoffs, they won every game 0-0, 1-0, penalties, whatever. They just were defensively so solid, and of course they had Ronaldo Damas scoring goals at the other end, which they've got this time around. They've got Milan Noloski doing that. So,
place one for the other.
Yeah, so I wonder if Orange County fans are thinking, oh, we're going to see what we did 2 years ago, another star on the jersey.
But do you think this team right now is good enough to win it all?
I don't think so, because they'd have to beat San Antonio, Sac Republic along the way.
Yeah.
And they might have to go away from home to beat Pittsburgh, which would be a different story than beating them at home.
Sure.
But I wouldn't say they can't either.
Yeah.
I just say that there's more likely winners. But there was 2 years ago more likely winners. I mean, they went away and beat Tampa Bay Rowdies in the final, 3-1. So this side is capable, as we've seen now with 8 wins in the last 9. They are capable of absolutely anything.
Well, the realignment of USL Championship this season, and teams obviously going from coast to coast. Corner kick brought to you by True Path Loans.
Second one of the night from this spot for Charleston Battery. Barajas will take this. Barajas, for all the damage he has done, 8 assists on the year and counting. Back post, that one nullified, and we'll do it all over again from a different location. The fans in attendance tonight, loud and proud. Not drinking a local seltzer, probably a nice hefty IPA.
It's just good pressure at the moment from Charleston Battery. Set pieces, asking questions of defense, looking for the knockdowns. Lots of bodies in front of Colin Shuttle. You can see how difficult it is for the keeper to get over the top of all of that if it's a near post ball.
Ikaza with some bend on it. Nice job by Shuttler, swiping left on that play.
Fans applauding the effort from their keeper, keeping this thing scoreless.
It was good goalkeeping because it's so difficult when there's so many bodies around. You know, you can't assume where the ball's got to go. You got to wait and see, and then you got to come strong and quick and try and climb above the others with your fists and get it away from danger. It's no good just getting a touch. You got to punch it away from trouble, which Colin Shuttler did. That's why he's keeping his position as the #1 for Orange County.
In spots like that, though, Gary, are you more inclined to punch it away or swipe it away?
Punch it. You get a further distance. You only use your fingers when you're really stretching normally, but you got to punch it clearly with some distance so that your defenders get a second or two to push out and reorganize. If you punch it down into trouble, then everybody's scrambling.
Fair enough. Scott and Amon were doing a good job of tapping it back to each other off the toes. Olaski, Scott. It does seem like Orange County has a great deal of confidence with possession, and they don't think about how they're going to pass, they just do.
Yeah, it's a very different side to the one that we saw earlier in the season. It's one of the things when we asked Morten Carlson what he'd done differently. He said, I've given them confidence, given them self-belief, and he said that's made the biggest difference. And of course, with the results comes more of the same.
Right. Let's see if Markanik is called with a booking here in the 39th minute. Does a yellow card come out? We'll take a look at this incident again.
So look at Markanik here. Just catches him on the ankle. That's, yeah, you generally get a yellow card for that. Depends how lenient the referee is. But that's a painful tackle, and it's one that can cause a bad injury. Partida not happy at all.
Nearing our way towards the end of the first half. Had plenty of action earlier on. San Antonio, Monterey Bay, late stages of that contest are scoreless. San Diego and New Mexico starting the second half, deadlocked at 1 apiece. Dogman was to play that one through. Palma able to head it out. Nice job by Orange County holding on to it. Scott surveying the land. Partida has it now. Partida, who just got spiked moments ago, appears to be okay, running around. No limp in his step. Scott. And right now, pretty patient is Orange County. Partida going the long way. Dogman trying to maintain it, he can't. Nice intercept there, and take it and give it back. Unfortunate for Scott, he could not hold it in bounds. Orange County SC has new premium seating options for the 2023 season. Our new GA box just above the bleachers and new field box sections are now available. This now makes 4 premium seating experiences at the Champ, along with our cabanas and field MVP seating
Book your experience today at orangecountysoccer.com/premium. The run here, nobody around for Charleston Battery. Turf monster there.
Just needs something special in the box from either side, doesn't it? A lot of hard work going around the fringes, but needs the Augie Williams of the world to get a decent ball in, and then maybe they can finish it off, or the Milan Iloskis.
Village strike, that one goes sailing over the crossbar. Had good velocity on that one.
It's got to be a good shot from there, isn't it? 25 yards out. Beto Avila, give him credit for taking the shot and having a go. But look at it there, just a little bit too high. In the end, quite simple for Colin Shuckler. Those are sunsets that you're used to, being a California boy.
Gorgeous. The only thing you're missing is maybe some firewood, a couple matches, and a little bonfire on the beach. I feel bad you didn't get to experience any of that, Gary. But you're a world traveler, so it's a little bit different, right?
Well, I've visited there a few times, but who are you to complain? You live in Florida now, and you lived in California. I don't think anybody's got any sadness for you.
No pity party
no
here.
Sympathy, yeah.
I ditched hurricane season in Southern California for Florida. Go figure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Temperatures tonight decent, and both these teams spin their way towards the tail end of the season. Orange County playing on Wednesday night. Much better start here in the first half.
It's patient, isn't it? They're not rushing at Orange County, and the same with Charleston Battery. It's two very good sides. You can see why they've been successful. Quality everywhere. They're not worried. They're not in the lead.
Long here, goes down inside the box. Not going to be called in that spot. No real harm, no real foul. Fellas play on. Ikaza with a near-dead giveaway, and it is intercepted. Watch out here, spinning is Alaski. See if this one results in a yellow card. The first one was not the case. Palma looks like he's the guilty party, and Alaski's still down the deck. Yellow card in the 43rd minute. Gary, does this one warrant a booking?
Let's have a closer look. It depends whether he gets the ball and how high his studs are. The referee was very close. This nothing, that's just a shoulder to shoulder, no issue there. Thomas Among hasn't really impacted the match he wants. Now let's have a look at the next one. Gets the ball. The problem is you slide. Once you slide in a tackle and you don't win the ball. Milanolowski got there first. So that's the standard though, as long as the referee sticks to it. Eligio Ariguin. I was surprised that Nick Marcanic I think it was Nick Marcanic didn't get the yellow card a little bit earlier. I thought his one was as well. That was worse than Juan Palmer's there, I would think. But again, we get the benefit of a replay, which referees don't. And a lot of people watch these games and think, well, it's like VAR, they shouldn't, but they don't. They get one look at it, they're going to make an instant call, and it's almost impossible to get it absolutely right every time.
And it's not like every week we have this occasion, but we have heard at a great length this year technical leaders questioning the officiating. And it's a challenging job nonetheless, but there are times in a match you want to make sure you're extra certain, and you get teammates in the field that you can ask if you feel like something is in doubt. Yeah,
it's still very difficult though. I mean, the players aren't going to tell you. They're going to dive and fall and try and trick you. So it's between you and your assistant refs, and you can't cover every player, every blade of grass, every little trick that's going on behind your back. So I have great sympathy for the referees. I did my referee's course and straight away decided I wasn't going to referee. I wasn't going to take the abuse.
Oh, you ran away. I love it.
Because no matter what decision they give, someone's not happy. And that's just, it's a very, very difficult job with a limited amount of sympathy from anybody for the referee.
See who takes this free kick. Brian Alaski, he does, and he finds Twine! That was an absolute bullet, marked the top right-hand corner. Brian Alaski on the board. Orange County SC with the early advantage. It's 1-0.
That's That's a fantastic strike from Brian Orlowski, and he deserves it. He's come close already twice in the first half. He's been the go-to person for Orange County, but look how he bends us over the wall. Does it remind you of a certain player playing for Inter Miami?
It certainly does.
Over the wall, bend, dip, and there's no way Trey Muse is getting to that. A brilliant strike from Brian Orlowski. His brother did it in the match on Wednesday against Pittsburgh, scored a fantastic goal, and now he has done it. He's matched what Milan could do. Well done, Brian Orlowski.
Yeah, that thing was earmarked for the top right-hand corner. And for Brian Orlowski, that goal really gives Orange County a burst because of their efforts so far here tonight. And then more importantly for Brian, it's his first goal of the season. It's brought to you by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedic Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC.
And it comes at a great time, doesn't it? Just before you go in the locker room, a chance to, you know, just relax and see how you're going to hold on to that lead and maybe try and catch Charleston on the counter in the second half, because you know Charleston will have to come at you. Of course, for Ben Pearman, it's the opposite. It's a big body blow, and he's got a couple of players on yellow cards as well, so they've got a bit more to consider at halftime to the Battery.
Charleston has not been outclassed in this first half, but Orange County has been the more noticeable team with possession and opportunities.
Well, if I look at all the highlights I've got, it's Brian Orlowski with 2 chances and the goal. There's another yellow card.
Wow.
Got to be careful here, Charleston Battery.
Avila, his yellow card. And stoppage time in the first half, and
if that's just for mouthing off at the referee, that's another silly yellow card to give away, as Declan Wins was. So I think there's a few harsh words coming from Ben Pearman in the locker room in a few minutes' time.
first half whistle indicates the conclusion of 45 minutes in the books here from Irvine, California. Orange County SC led by that man right there, Brian Orlowski. His first goal of the season, pegged for the top right-hand corner, and Orange County has to feel good about the effort in the first 45.
They do, and he had another chance. Brian Orlowski hit the crossbar. Maybe Trey Muse was beaten there. It is shot wide, so really has been the Brian Orlowski show as opposed to the Milan Orlowski show. But they're not out of it, Charleston Battery. They had a few little sniffs around the edge of the box. They're a very good side, and we should be treated to a really good second half.
So Orlowski, his first goal of the season on a free kick just outside the 18. Shots in the first half, Charleston 6, Orange County 5. But the most important one in the first 45 minutes of action, Brian Orlowski, his first goal of the season. Orange County at the break, leading Charleston 1-0. We'll be back.
Patterson Kia, where it's all about you.
I'm John Patterson from the all-new Mission Viejo Kia, and we're celebrating August with the new Kia Forte lease for as low as $195 a month, only at Patterson Mission Viejo Kia. Visit the largest Kia service center in Orange County at Mission Viejo Kia. No appointment necessary, award-winning customer service, and available service loaners today. Experience the difference at Mission Viejo Kia, where it's all about you.
Patterson Kia, where it's all about you.
At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there's no one better at getting you back to you. Orthopedics and spine, it's all we do.
So we're getting that house we told you guys about.
You're buying a house?
Yeah. Soldiers get VA loan guarantees.
Yeah, no money down.
Well, my office gives us free bagels.
That's cool.
Yes. I'll get you the file.
Sounds intense.
Clients. What do you do?
Retired.
Tech?
Nah, Army.
Huh. Check your spam folder.
One of the main treatments we work on with the players is treatments that focus in on lower extremities. We want to make sure that we maximize flexibility and minimize stiffness in the hips and legs. During the session, we incorporate stretches, IASTM, percussive therapy, and cryotherapy. The session is really tailored to the needs of the athlete being treated.
Recovery is a crucial part of every athlete's performance. We're excited to be working with OCSE again to help the team recover throughout the season.
This match is presented by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedic Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC, and by Omega Accounting Solutions, your ERC and tax specialist today, your trusted advisor tomorrow. Manchester United, former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey. I'm David Gascon, hanging out with you on a ripe Saturday night. Gary would take a look at the schedules, what's on the tap for Orange County SC.
Another big one for Orange County away at Sacramento Republic. That's a big test. Then Las Vegas, well, in theory, it should be a lot easier. El Paso struggling as well. And then some more big matches coming up. Tough one against Colorado Springs. And then against the reigning champions, they're at San Antonio. So, yeah, some really difficult matches. But when we spoke to Morten Carlson, he said, hey, this is great. We get to test just how good we are. We know we're good, but just how good are we? We're going to find out over these matches. Well, so far, they've beaten Pittsburgh and they're 1-0 up against Charleston Battery.
It'll be fun. On the other side of things for Charleston Battery, Ben Pierman's troops, 43 points so far. But after today's contest, it does not get any easier for them.
It doesn't. Memphis will be a tough one. Memphis are right behind them in the table. New Mexico away from home, and San Diego doing well. Loudon, that should be a little bit easier, and maybe Tulsa is struggling at the moment. So there's certainly matches there in which Charleston can look to try and get full points.
Yeah, they have El Paso, Miami FC, and also Birmingham to close out 2023. Will not make things any easier for Charleston, but a win or at least 8 point here today would go a long way. Brian Olowski's first goal of the season on a free kick. The difference makers so far. When we come back, first half highlights, stats, and a whole lot more.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Goes topic. I mean, yeah, let's talk about today when we go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What? This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it. What?
The opportunity for the small business owner with the tax credit is up to $26,000 per employee. Small business owners have been through a lot through the pandemic. They've seen the power of tax credits, government offset through the PPP program. This program, employee retention credit, is much larger than that. And so if you're a small business and you employ folks, you need to be looking at this opportunity to see if you can qualify. But it's definitely something where you need to be talking to your financial advocate or advisor and having them guide you through the process.
We're live here from Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California. The home team with the advantage, 1-0 is the score. Brian Olowski His first goal of the season, a perfect time doing it during stoppage. The difference maker so far with Gary Bailey. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us on a very pleasant night from the OC. Gary, we take a look around USL Championship. We have all kinds of scores in real time and also from the past in full time as well. Big win for Miami.
Wow, it is against a struggling Hartford, but nonetheless, it gets them a little bit closer to FC Tulsa. Detroit City also climbing up in the East with that, a victory. And then earlier this evening, Loudoun United beaten. They put up a bit of a fight, 1-1 with about 20 minutes to go, but Sacramento Republic in the end just too good.
Strong as they are.
Oh, and look at Lou City. Now go all the way around. There's a bit of a shock result
for
the boys in purple.
And a weird 3-game losing streak a few weeks ago as we look at some of the news and notes around USL Championship. Obviously, Orange County trying to stay red hot. They've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, they've won 8 of the last 9. They're 1-0 up again today. They certainly are the power team at the moment, but job's still not done. They're still not guaranteed a place in the playoffs as yet.
Oh, it's hard to believe. 56 days left of USL Championship regular season. I know it's going to happen sooner rather than later, but Christmas music will start to be played around the local areas, Gary. It's a disgusting sight to see and sometimes to hear in the month of August, and then we get to September, but I digress. Orange County right now at the break leading Charleston. When we come back, we'll get you some first half highlights and some stats. We promise, don't go anywhere.
A few years ago, I was making cabinets and somebody gave this idea like, hey, why don't you make your beautiful doors to fit IKEA cabinets?
You know, we care about everything that goes into making a door or a panel or a cabinet. Designing a kitchen or even remodeling it, it's a difficult process. We're here to kind of bridge that gap between the vision and realizing that goal.
We're able to make everything in-house, handmade, handcrafted, beautiful product.
When you are killed by a drunk driver, you become nothing but a stick figure on a police report. Your death will be a story never to be told by you, and justice will never be served. Last year, nearly 13,000 stick figures were drawn by officers after a drunk driving fatality. It will take everyone to eliminate drunk driving, so that no one ever has to tell your story from a police report.
Back here live at Championship Soccer Stadium. Teams back on the pitch right now. Getting loose and limber for a second half. That should be a good one. Orange County with the advantage right now. 1-0 over Charleston with Gary Bailey. I'm David Gascon. Gary, got to push the replay button here because we got to look at some first half highlights in this thing. Good 45 minutes of ball all the way across the board.
Yeah, chances for both sides, mostly for Orange County. And this man here, Brian Olowski, cuts inside. A lot of white shirts all around him. In the end, about 4 or 5 of them as he whips out one just past the post. And that was a sign of things to come because he had a few other chances, including the goal, which we will see. And then Charleston Battery themselves around the fringes weren't too bad. This one is going to come to Avila and he's going to set up Dodson. As the ball comes back here, he's going to get it. Look up, number 14, Dodson's available. He strikes it in, and then Augie Williams blocked by goalkeeper and defender. So a little half chance here for the Battery.
Just looked like a broken sequence that more often than that you feel like when it pinballs around like this in the 18, it usually finds the back of the net. somehow stayed away. You can see the dejected look from Dodson's face. In the 27th minute, we almost had our first marker.
Yeah, nice switch of play over the top, and he gets free. Brynolowski chips the goalkeeper, and it just hits the crossbar. Maybe Trey Muse would have got back and got it if it was under the crossbar, but so close. Question marks there. Juan Palmer getting caught over the top with a very straightforward, direct, vertical ball, but in the end, no goal going in. But once again, Brynolowski has shown that he was a danger man, and then free kick on the edge of the box. Very similar to that man at Inter Miami, Lionel Messi. Bends it, drops it, and sticks it in the back of the net and gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever.
Yeah, Trey Muse stung there by Brynolowski. That thing was scorched. First goal of the season for Olowski, and now 19 matches. What do the numbers tell you, though?
Not a hell of a lot. There's an extra shot on target for Orange County compared to Charleston possession. Not really anything in it. 3 yellow cards, though, to Battery and none to Orange County. They've got to manage those second half. And I think Orange County had the better of the few chances there were, so they possibly deserved the lead. But the Battery aren't out of it. They can certainly find a way back into this game.
Yeah, coming into this contest, when you look at Charleston's work, their discipline or lack thereof, they came into this game with 109 yellow cards, and now they're up to 112. So that continues to pile up. They've also had 7 red cards in the campaign. Real-time standings right now, because we're always curious and we're always looking for what's next. Orange County, should they hold pace, 40 points.
Which is a great position to be in, but should they go on and lose this, they stay at 37. And look where El Paso are, 32, only 5 points away, or RGV probably outside of the playoffs, that extra point back. You can drop those points very quickly if you lose momentum. So it's still a vitally important second half for Orange County to try and get a hold of these 3 points.
Yeah, not a comfortable feeling whoever you are. Temperatures right now at 74 degrees. A couple scattered clouds and the thoughts of rain. Biggest reason for that, Hurricane Hillary coming up the southern coast from Baja up to Southern California and into Nevada. Got a couple changes for the second half. We'll get you those here in a brief moment. Orange County flip-flopping sides with Charleston will be moving from left to right on your screen. Charleston, the road club, will be moving from right to left. They're looking for their 8th road victory of the season as the next 45 has commenced. Charleston this season, 3 victories and 5 losses when trailing at the end of the opening half. Orange County unbeaten in the last 15 when leading through 45. The big question mark, Gary, in a position like this, if you are Charleston, Ikaza gave that one away, is what kind of changes would you make if you are Ben Pierman?
Well, you've got some options on the bench, and no doubt, of course, as every second half we see there will be a bunch of changes made, but you've got Pierre Reedy, who put in the assist for Augie Williams' goal against Detroit as that shot gets blocked. He's an option. Tristan Traeger, nice attacking player for Charleston Battery. And of course, for Orange County, the youngster, Bryce Jamison. Wow, has he got some pace. You can bring him on. And Cameron Dunbar, who made his debut against Pittsburgh midweek, was used for his Barajas. Talked about him being a wonderful youngster at just 17 years of age.
What kind of message would you send, though, if you're Ben Pierman to your guys?
Well, they've got to improve from the first half. They weren't bad first half. They weren't dangerous around the box.
This one bending through. It looked like it might have gone off a hand, but not the case for Orange County, as Thomas Among might have worn that in the nose to cheek region. He doesn't look comfortable right now as Andrew Fox into the affair, replacing Ryan Dogman. Dogman was on the ball a lot and had plenty of jump, just didn't have any kind of positive results that landed in the box score. That substitution brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Their first sub of the evening for either side.
Now, there's something about Charleston Battery that they have such good goal scorers in Augie Williams and Nick Markanek, 17 goals between them, but they didn't really threaten Colin Shuttler much in that first half, and I'm sure that's what Ben Pierman would want. Something more clinical up front from the Battery.
Yeah, it didn't look like they lacked any spirit. and the energy's been there. It's just a matter of playing more on the ball than Orange County and creating. Augie Williams, his players colliding and dropping like flies. Quick restart for Orange County, and here they go on the pursuit, looking to transition. They can't. It's a nice break up there at the very last moment by Leland Archer. And then taking a spill as Archer, Milan Alaski earns himself a yellow card. He's not happy about that.
Just wonder whether he needed to lunge in there. He tried to nutmeg the big man at the back, and then he loses possession, and there he just tries to win it back. Could he just held him up? Just, you know, let's see if the big number 5, Leland Archer, can get a ball out of defense. Maybe he makes an error. Instead, you lunge in and you give the referee the decision, and the yellow card now. Not good news for Milan Alaski. We're just looking at expected goals in the first half. Orange County just 0.25, not a lot. We've got 1 goal from their 0.25. Charleston Battery 0.41, so a bit more. But still, didn't get a return for that. 0 goals. And interesting, Orange County against Pittsburgh 0.47, yet they win 1-0. So they haven't had big at home, especially. They haven't had big expected goals. They beat New Mexico 1-0 at home, 0.54. So they're very good at taking the chance and then defending and keeping a clean sheet.
Declan Wynn, who's got a yellow card in this contest. Wynn and Barajas. Barajas back post. Augie Williams blew a tire. That'll be a goal kick. What do you read into expected goals, Gary? Like, I mean, the numbers will tell you something, but does it tell you everything?
It tells you what the average is from a certain position in front of goals. So it takes into account whether it comes onto your right foot, left foot, depending if you're right-footed, whether it's a nice pass, whether there's defenders in the way. Someone who's watching this will judge all of that, but ultimately, if your expected goal is 1, then you're meant to score around about 1. If you score more than that, then you are very good finishers. And if you score less, then you're not very good, because the average is 1. So what they're saying here is the average in front of goals is 0.25, and yet Orange County have a goal out of it. Well, credit Brian Alaski for turning a small chance into a goal. And for Charleston Battery, they had 0.41 of a chance. So they really haven't managed to find the back of the net. They haven't really tested Colin Shuttler. Well, that's on them, because they've had some decent chances.
But still plenty of time to work in this contest. Barajas waiting for the rest of his team to come around beside him. Chris Allen decently engaged in the opening 45 minutes of play. Palma wrapping all the way around Archer. Archer taken down moments ago by Milan Alaski, but he's okay. Physicality continues here.
This is so similar to the midweek match against Pittsburgh. They went 1-0 up just before halftime with the other Alaski scoring. But then they just defended deep Orange County. They denied Pittsburgh space, and they looked to catch them on the counter-attack, especially when Bryce Jamison came on with his pace. It's almost a repeat. It's almost a rinse-wash repeat here today, so far.
'52nd minute here from Irvine. Let's see players on the far side of the pitch getting loosened up. Expect a few more changes for Orange County and Charleston.
Yeah, especially for Charleston. If you're struggling to break down a defense, sometimes you need to throw on different bodies and just see if they can catch the defenders out. And as mentioned, Pierre Reedy would be a good choice. Andrew Booth's an option as well. And of course, you want fresh legs to come on the pitch.
This one chipped through the box, but coming out nicely was Colin Shuttler. He was tested on 2 separate occasions in the first half. One of them by that man there, Augie Williams. He's always a threat. Tapped around, everybody in black and orange there to converge on it. Brian Alaski. Thomas Among trying to hit the accelerator, but he was bodied off that.
See how well they do that, Orange County. Defend, and all of a sudden they're so quick on the counter, on that vertical transition, and they have the ball through and nearly find Thomas Among. They will keep doing that the whole of the second half, you would think, as long as they have the lead. They will just stay on their half, as they are now, deny you space, and then look to counter as quickly as they possibly can.
Shots right now 7-5 in favor of Charleston. The one that matters the most was Zalaski's marker in the first half. Orange County has 2 shots on goal to just the 1 for Charleston. Here's Allen with a sharp angle in front of him. Chris meandering around. Kaza, poor delivery, and that thing back to midfield. Oakland and Colorado Springs 2-2 right now. Indy 11 was trailing, now they lead El Paso 3-2.
El Paso dropping like a stone in the West.
That is unbelievable. They have just fallen from the graces of the upper echelon clubs in the Eastern Conference. While Indy 11, they've showed some grit. They won both matches last week to capture all 6 points. This pass was intended for a streaking Kyle Scott, but, or I beg your pardon, Brian Olaski, but that thing was just way too out in front of him by a good 15 feet.
I think El Paso are about to go in their 10th match without a win.
That's inconceivable.
Given that they had won virtually everything, they'd won the previous 10. I mean, it's nuts how they've gone from a team that could only win to a team that can't win at all.
Have you ever seen something like that before?
It's very, very rare. Incredibly rare. It was 7 wins in a row, 10 matches unbeaten.
Yeah.
And now they replace it with 10 matches without a win.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that should, and this is no disrespect, but that should get a coach fired.
It might very well do, especially because this is a home match against Indy that they're losing. And home fans don't take kindly to those sort of results.
Well, the expectation, yeah, you're there in those positions. Good look at Declan Wynn. And from Johannesburg in South Africa. Got quite a few players, Gary, that have had experience in the MLS that have now moved over to USL Championship. What do you think that does for the psyche of these players?
I think a lot of them just come to the USL to refine their form. They're players that the MLS feel can do better and just aren't for some reason, and they come to this level. And they hope to become better. I hope to sort of score a few goals, pick up confidence, and go back to the MLS. Doesn't always work that way. Some of them stay permanently. But for others, they can prove what their value is and get pulled back into the top echelon. And what it does for the USL teams is if they pick the right players carefully and they can afford them, it just gives them a boost in the middle of the season to have quality come and join them. And there is one on the bench for Orange County who's just joined, and that's Cameron Dunbar, just on loan from Minnesota United. He came on against Pittsburgh just for the last sort of 10-15 minutes, and wow, did he light things up for Orange County.
Speaking of the transition from MLS to USL Championship, that's a soft segue for me to ask you your thoughts on relegation. We'll get to that in a moment. That play nearly got to him. Here's Olaski, Brian Olaski, looking for his second marker of the match. Brian's had plenty of jump in this one. Back post, not handled properly. Charleston trying to flip the script. Avila holding his ground for a moment, and then he got taken out. This resulted in a yellow card.
Should do.
Kyle Scott booking here in the 50th.
He had one nibble, and then he lunged in on the second one. That was always likely to be a yellow card. And maybe a couple of question marks from the Battery players as to whether it should be more, but he has a nibble there, gets up. Well, it wasn't that bad the second raise, probably more for consistency. I thought he raised his foot, but he didn't. But certainly if you have one go, then you have a second go, you're certainly asking for trouble.
So while we have a moment, I have to ask you, though, what are your thoughts of possible relegation in USL Championship? A fan? Not a fan?
Oh, absolutely a fan. We spent all our lives in Europe playing with promotion relegation. It's the way football's played in every other country in the world. So absolutely a fan.
And you mentioned Cameron Dunbar coming into the affair. He does so in the 58th minute. That substitution brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks. And it's something I certainly do appreciate about the sport overseas, because the investment for the clubs and the ownership group, they got to go all out. And you have to invest, and I think that keeps the fans more engaged.
I think so.
Chance here. Numbers, Thomas Among played that through, but softly it was intercepted.
Thomas Among, another chance there. He hasn't, I mean, he scored 2 goals against San Diego. He was brilliant on that particular day. Against Pittsburgh, didn't offer much. And again today, he's not sparkling up front. Maybe he hasn't had the service. But he also, when the surface he has got, he hasn't done much with it.
Allen, toe tap, got it back. Allen to the left-hand side. Barajas looking for a lane. Allen can't measure it up. Kaza. Allen almost tore a groin there. He was going one direction, that ball going back the other way. On a surface like here tonight, that's a vulnerable position to be in. Orange County now on the attack. Let's see if this results in a booking.
Yep, will do. Any grabbing of the jersey and stopping a goal-scoring opportunity or attack is going to get you a yellow card.
Dotson in the 60th.
Getting a bit frustrating now for the Battery because they're throwing numbers forward. They're getting caught on the pace on the counter-attack. And the players will get more and more upset as time goes on, those in the white shirts. But they do it so well, Orange County, exactly as they did it against Pittsburgh last game. They drop deep, they soak up all the pressure, then they try and catch you with pace on the counter. And as I say, wait until they bring on the youngster, Bryce Jamison. His pace is electric.
That thing goes out of bounds and results in a corner kick. Corner kick brought to you by True Path Loans. Quick look at Thomas Among, who's had some chances tonight to be a threat. Owen Lamb, we'll see what he dials up. Owen's been relatively quiet on the evening for Orange County. Dunbar still trying to get limber out there on the pitch. It's a great view from our crew working tonight here in Orange County. Lamb delivering, not a lot of power on that. Archer was out to head it away. 62nd minute. Looked like there was a couple guys that were offside for Orange County. Flag was not up. That ball ends up in the back of the net. Owen Lamb with a rocket with the right foot on the board, and Orange County has extended their advantage to 2 here in the 62nd minute.
That's a brilliant strike from Owen Lamb from a really tight angle. Hits it on the volley, flashes past Trey Muse. That's the second great goal that Trey Muse has watched go past, but he wins the header to start with. Look at the way he finishes that. He had the assist midweek for the Milan Alowski goal. This time around he says, you know what, let me see if I can finish. Even better when you see it behind. It's the sort of aggression to win the header in the first place, and then the technique on the volley to stick that in the back of the net. Absolutely stunning from the right full back. welcome Owen Lamb. He really is settling into Orange County, and those fans love him.
Great angle, and even better to do it with the fans right in front of you. That goal brought to you by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedic Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC. Charleston Battery in a deep hole now. Not down 1, down 2, with time winding down here in full time. 63rd minute. Oloski in the first half. Lamb here in the second. Barajas on an intercept trying to counter. He goes down Partida. And I think Fidel might have sold that, but needed to do so.
Barajas, such a tricky player. Gets a little bit of a shove there from Partida. So in that sense, it's probably a fair free kick. Now it's a case of just seeing whether they can break down the Orange County defense. Charleston Battery, which Pittsburgh couldn't do midweek. New Mexico couldn't do in the previous home match. That was also a 1-0 win. So certainly at home, they're giving very little away, our Orange County.
Kevin Partida is going to be credited with the assist. It's his first of the season. So a goal and an assist now on the year for Kevin. And Lamb his second goal. And a huge insurance marker for Orange County, who played thorough here today. Ikaza into the box, but nobody around to try to head that thing through. Augie Williams, I think, was a little caught off guard. Gary, going back to the goal.
Well, Dodson was beaten. It's Dodson's ball, and to be fair to Owen Lamb, he gets in and wins that header. So that's on Derek Dodson initially, but after that, the volley from that angle, that is just top class. That is going into the best goals of the month for the USL. I've no doubt about that.
But interesting enough, we've now seen 2 long stretch passes from Orange County players that have provided serious threats. We saw the one in the first half with Oloski, had that chip go off the crossbar. In that sequence there, Lamb puts it in. But Orange County is, as you mentioned, they're always looking to put pressure on the back line of Charleston, and they've executed on numerous occasions tonight.
They have done it so well, but what they're doing equally as well is giving Charleston no chance to score as yet, and that's the really frustrating part for the visitors.
Couple more substitutions here in a moment for Charleston. They need to make some drastic changes, otherwise it'll fall at the hands of Orange County here tonight. They have just been unable to create any kind of traction. Augie Williams here, great left-hand save by Shuttler. The rebound's knocked in, but the far side official says, gentlemen, you are offside.
More frustration for the Battery when they do hit the back of the net. It's not allowed, but Augie Williams, he's crucial to them in terms of if he can just get some form, get some fire, get some energy. Look at him, he tracks the ball so well, but he was in an offside position, unfortunately, for Charleston Battery. And maybe credit to Orange County for stepping up.
Now, in defense, Gary, for Colin Shuttler, since you're a former keeper, I will tell you the one luxury we have from a technical standpoint is even though that play was offside, we also can allow our editors to cut up that great stop by Colin Shuttler before the rebound was knocked in, even though it was offside. So it's always a good highlight reel play for the keepers. It's all about the rhythm and getting some stops, even if they do count or not. A couple changes that we will announce here in a brief moment. So you mentioned Reedy coming into the affair, and Pierman needs to go to his bench. These substitutions brought to you by MedEquip, turning setbacks into comebacks.
Yeah, we saw Robbie Crawford come on as well. Fidel Barajas going off. So he needed to do that, Ben Pierman. There, as you say, they're behind the 8 ball. They need to do something, and they need to do it quickly. If they get one back, then it is game on.
No harm, no foul. Augie Williams damaging maybe a sponsorship billboard or two. Hagi wearing his frustrations.
Referee just sorting it all out, everybody having a little bit of an argument, and then hopefully we'll get on with the game.
Julio Araguin, the lead official tonight, he's been busy passing out yellow cards like they're hotcakes. So Crawford and Reed, Kyle Scott. Kevin Langford into the affair.
He's a new signing, got lots of experience back in Bundesliga 2 and 3, but he didn't have that good a game against Pittsburgh midweek. And when we chatted to Morten Carlson, he said, look, he's still settling in, got to give him time. And that's a fair comment. So we'll see how he plays coming on as a sub this late in the game. Less pressure on him, especially with his team already 2-0 up.
Charleston trying to do something to Orange County outside of getting underneath their skin, resulting in yellow cards. '70th minute. And Charleston right now in danger of losing. They've played well over this 5-game stretch. And it's interesting just to see where they're at right now in the Eastern Conference standings in real time. Charleston at 12, 6, and 7, but one of the best teams in the USL Championship because of what they do on the road. And Gary had mentioned at the top of the show, they have 7 victories out of 13 matches on the road. They've had some highs, they've had some lows, the peaks and valleys of a regular season, of course, and you figure you're going to have some kind of displacement. With 43 points, you're a real threat in the East. Pittsburgh has 47 points, followed by Tampa Bay. Then you go Charleston, Memphis, Lou City, Indy 11, Birmingham FC Tulsa, which is tied right now with Miami FC on that boiling point in 8th position in the East. Everyone's still in the hunt, technically speaking, so is Hartford. We have another foul, questionable one, but it's not going to result in a booking yet. '71st minute. Out west, the only team that's not going to be around come October, at least the postseason anyway, is Las Vegas. Las Vegas has 2 wins this year. A lot of criticism out of Sin City, but just not a well-crafted club, top to bottom, and there'll be some changes in the offseason. RGV is on the cusp of being out. Right now they're 9th, but El Paso in 8th position, tied with Phoenix Rising. Each club has 32 points. Sacramento is the class right now with 48, but San Antonio is a single point behind them. So a lot can change between now, August the 19th, and then to the end of the regular season, which is the 2nd week of October. Can't rest on your laurels, of course. Sprung loose on the right-hand side. Orange County trying to put this thing to bed. Already up 2, and this will result in a corner kick.
Cameron Dunbar, the player we're talking about, is so exciting when he came on during midweek against Pittsburgh, looking to see what he can do. Just surprised that Brian Ilowski went off from the Orange County side, if I'm not mistaken, and I just wonder, having scored a goal, whether he picked up an injury or what the story was for him going off a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Kyle Scott and Brian Ilowski both have been removed along with Ryan Duggan out. Lamb, who scored a few moments ago. Service, bended out, turning, firing. Looked like we had a foul inside the 18. That was the case.
And that was one of the keys to the game that Ben Pearman talked about when he said, watch second phase ball. When corners come in, we don't clear it properly. Well, they didn't clear that one properly, and there was a bit of a scramble.
Dunbar takes a cold shoulder, and he gets dropped. Declan Wynn, who's playing on a yellow card right now, dropped the youngster, but he's okay. That's one way to wake up. This one played through nicely. Milan Alaski had it on the doorstep, and it stays out. Milan thought he had his 12th goal of the season. Not to be the case.
Was that a save by the keeper, or did that hit the post? Let's have a look at it again. Ball gets whipped in so well. Milan Alaski, how quick is he to react? And he hits it. So I think it hits the post. He is so quick in these situations. This is why he's such a special player. Just lunges at that, hits it on the half volley, smashes it against the post.
It's the second post tonight for Orange County. Second Alaski that's also put one off the woodwork. Bryan in the crossbar in the first half. Milan here in the second half. What we mentioned at the top of the show was Milan Alaski needed to get some complimentary pieces active tonight. That is the case. His brother Bryan, his first goal of the season. Owen Lamb scored as well in the 62nd minute, his second tally of the year. And it's important because as we get deeper into the season, of course the focus is on the top strikers throughout USL Championship, but playoffs come and everyone has eyes, they have scouting reports, they certainly have plenty of tape. So you know those players, the heavily marked ones, will get the extra attention. So it's everybody else that will be loosened up with opportunities to be the hero for their club. And the confidence can grow and continue to mount up once we get into October. Watch out. You get hot at the right time, you can ride this thing all the way to the very end when you're on top of the mountain. '76 minute.
Good job, Orange County. Giving Charleston Battery nothing, holding on to that clean sheet as they did against Pittsburgh midweek, as they did 2 seasons ago, game after game, all the way to winning the championship. And always a threat on the counter. This is a very good Charleston Battery side, especially as we said on the road, the best in the USL on the road. And yet they're just not able to break through against this wall of orange.
Can't discount the fans here at Championship Soccer Stadium. They can give some tired legs a lift, especially at this time of the year. To do so under the lights on a comfortable Saturday night.
And speaking to Morten Carlson, another one of the sort of questions we asked him was, how do you improve from where you are? And he said, more clean sheets. I want them to be tougher in defending. Well, that was, I chatted to him before the Pittsburgh match, where he said 1 clean sheet and the potential of a second. So there's nothing that Morten Carlson isn't getting at the moment. I mean, this would be his 9 wins, a 9th win in 10 matches if they go on to win. I mean, 9 wins in 10 it's just crazy successful. He's getting clean sheets back to back if they can hold on to this. So talk about the magic man, Morten Carlson.
You know, you're a couple hours away from Vegas if you want to play the slots. Well, why not? Delivery did not get to Alaski. It'd also be the 9th clean sheet of the year for Orange County if they can attain it. But they have work in front of them.
Augie Williams chasing that down and been very quiet, Augie Williams. He needs service, as we saw against Detroit in the last match. 1 good ball in, chested down, volleys in the back of the net, but they just haven't been able to find him. You know, with Pierre Reedy coming on, there's a player who can whip the ball in. In fact, he provided that cross for the goal against Detroit, but Up until then, Declan Wynn, Derek Dodson, you normally see them get forward. They just haven't really provided much for Augie Williams to work with.
Expected goals in this contest, Charleston Batteries over 1 at 1.18. This one sliced through and broken up at the very last moment. And Orange County not even at a half a goal expected. And yet they have 2, another substitution on the night. More changes for Ben Pierman. Looks to be Arthur Patterson. Substitution brought to you by MediQuip, turning setbacks into comebacks. Sebastian Palma has been removed. 20 in, 23 out.
AJ Patterson, such a good, solid player, so much experience in the game. So it's not quite sure whether Juan Palmer's maybe picked up or not, because it isn't in defense that Charleston need help. It's in scoring at the other end.
Looks like Bryce Jamison coming into the affair, and Ashish Chadha. Milan Olaski's night is over with. He'll bow out.
Here comes the youngster Bryce Jamison, 17 years of age in the US U17 squad. And he is lightning fast.
Ashish Chadha didn't have to go far to call Orange County SC his home. He actually played down the road at UC Irvine. Played at UC Irvine for the Anteaters in the Big West Conference. '80th minute. You watch matches like this, Gary, and you almost feel like Orange County brought a road kind of contest mentality into this one, because they've been pretty clean across the board.
Yeah, Orange County have done everything they needed to do. They've created little half chances. They've taken a couple of them. They've defended ever so well. They've counter-attacked. They'll say they're looking more and more like the team of 2 years ago that went on to win the championship.
Chadha with a nice move, pulled the trigger. That thing was blocked on the way through. And when it's going right, it's going right. They're on the verge now of winning their 6th straight. Remarkable.
Yeah, eighth in 9 games. Who does that? In fact, they've got 8 wins from 9. It'd be 9 from 10. I mean, it's just phenomenal what Morton Carlson's been able to do.
Yeah, if they can do that, watch out. You can get plenty of teams above you some discomfort. This one volleyed around.
Well, as Ben Pierman says, you just mentioned the name Milan Olaski, you get scared.
Yeah.
Well, now you can add Brian Olaski to that. You can have Bryce Jamison's pace up front, which is absolutely electric. You've got your hands full, you know, defending against them, and then when you attack them, they give you nothing. 3rd clean sheet in 4 matches if they keep this going today. And then when you think you've got everything covered, up steps Owen Lamb, wins a header and volleys in from an acute angle.
Have fun with that. That's great. '82nd minute. Orange County wins this one. It will be their 12th victory of the season. As we just mentioned, 6 in a row. Looking to cap off this night in emphatic fashion. Langford, who gave it up. Chadha wanted to give it back. Intercepting that was Leland Archer. Nice play by Leland. Avila. So he's trying to draw a foul, and Avila and Partita doing a casual little dance on the far sideline before it goes rolling out of bounds. Like at a moment in time, it's your last chance to get your very own season tickets. Enjoy exclusive events a welcome gift, merchandise, discounts, and much, much more. Get them prorated for the rest of the season at orangecountysoccer.com/season-tickets. Ashish Chadha, low-bridged. Robbie Crawford, not happy.
Yeah, he won the ball initially, and then there was just a big scramble after that. He probably felt, if anything, the foul was going to go his way. Augie Williams was also complaining. He got bumped a few times, didn't get a free kick, so they certainly haven't got any decisions going their way, Charleston Battery. But take nothing away from Orange County. They've been better side in terms of taking their chances. Fantastic goals from Brian Olowski and Owen Lamb. On the other hand, Augie Williams has offered very little. Neither did Mechanic. These are all good goal scorers. Fidel Barajas, not much.
Again, next date for Orange County is on the road. They go to Sacramento on August the 26th. Charleston will return home. They get Memphis on the 26th as well. Chris Allen, he's done for the night. Andrew Booth comes into the affair. Booth, the Jamaican from Kingston, Jamaica. He started a couple matches this season. Now his 15th appearance of the year. He scored a couple goals. Limited time, though, on the pitch. Under 300 minutes logged.
I mean, this isn't the end of the world for Charleston Battery, of course. They're going to have plenty of other matches coming up. We're just going through some of the games ahead for both sides. But it is a little bit of a blow. It's a game that they would have looked at and thought, you know, if we can get a draw here, take a point back. Because now, assuming this result holds, the last 4 matches, Charleston Battery, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. It's that sort of turn of form that would start to worry you if you're Ben Pearman as you're heading into playoffs. But they can turn it around, you know. They put 3 or 4 wins together going into the playoffs. That could just be the springboard they need to get a couple of home games, and maybe they will have to go on the road and beat somebody good, but that's all part of winning the championship.
We'll have 8 games remaining after tonight. Some numbers here. That one will result in a corner kick. As you see, Dunbar, goal kick, I beg your pardon. But Dunbar's got some pep in his step.
Yep, he's an exciting player to watch. Lots of little moves, and on the other side, Bryce Jamison's pace. He hasn't had a chance yet, but I just want to wait and see him put one-on-one with any of these defenders and see if they can stay with him. Just 17 years of age. Really, really top-class talent. Not for the first time that Orange County have produced really good talent. Ronaldo Damas being sold off to Scandinavia a couple of seasons back. Just one of those players that come through the system.
It does not matter where they come from, nor their age. Crawford all the way back to Booth. Trigger somehow kept his foot in Crawford. Crawford surveying the land. Shots are even right now at 7 apiece. Orange County, though, has 4 shots on goal to just 1 for Charleston.
And I guess the question is, what has Colin Shuttler had to do? He had 1 save in the first half from that effort from Derek Dodson. I assume the keeper save. Other than that, has he really been tested?
I won't leave you hanging. I'll say no.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Unless, of course, that was rhetorical. That's a bad job by me.
It was either or.
There you go.
You look at Trey Muse. He had to pick the ball at the back of the net a couple of times. A couple of other saves as well. Hit the crossbar. Hit the post. It was Milan Ilowski, and Brian Ilowski hit the crossbar. So besides the goals, Orange County have had a few really good looks at goal. And I don't think it's an unfair result.
No. Clinical as it is, Orange County is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah. Ben Pearman said to us beforehand that, look, you know, we didn't play midweek. Maybe we come in slightly fresher.
Yeah.
That hasn't really come out in the wash, has it? Although, to be fair, you can counter that with having to travel from east to west.
Sure.
So it hasn't been to Charleston's benefit, really. They haven't found a tired Orange County. They found, once again, a very efficient Orange County.
Which is even more remarkable to say, given the fact that their road record's so exceptional at 7-2-4. Dunbar here, trying to elude defenders. Didn't find a crease. 8 games left in the regular season for Charleston after tonight.
Look, it's still a massive improvement on last season for Battery fans. And they're all, they're certainly going to make the playoffs, and that's a given. They probably will play the first match at home.
Dunbar looking for that shot on goal, easily denied by Trey Muse. Never a bad time for a shot, though.
Yeah, good hands by Trey Muse, just plucked that one out the air, made it look easy. But yeah, for Charleston Battery, if they get that first game at home, they get the playoffs, and they can get through to the next round, it's a decent season. Then it's all a case of, can they win on the road? And as we've seen this season, the answer generally is yes.
Traeger with a step, trying to get around the corner, and Powers, and there's your first call tonight for Colin Shuttler, with Augie Williams bearing down.
Sort of went down before the cross came, Colin Shuttler. He was on the ground waiting for it. He preempted that rather well.
Make sure you stay here at the end of this match. Gary and myself will have the man of the match, brought to you by Uber Eats. A couple guesses who it might be, as she's Chada here. Robbie Crawford with the intercept. So Brian Olaski, his first goal of the season. Owen Lamb, his second goal of the year in the 62nd minute. Colin Shuttler with 1 save. So I don't know. I don't think you have too many outlets for man of the match.
I tell you what, it takes a lot to beat Owen Lamb's goal.
Yeah, that thing was
that's a little bit special. Although Brian Olowski's imitation of Lionel Messi wasn't bad either.
You got 3 minutes of stoppage time. As it is just announced here, Orange County is going to improve their record to 12-9-4 on the season, and more importantly here at home, 7-4-2. And assuming a major miracle doesn't happen in the next 180 seconds, they're going to have won 6 straight, which is remarkable given the fact where they were at the beginning of this season. Fire a head coach, bring in Morton Carlson as the interim, and they have not looked back. Dunbar was cut off nicely by the seasoned vet Leland Archer.
Yeah, same group of players that were sitting 11th out of 12 when Richard Chaplow was relieved of duties, and he was the man who took over back in 2021 and did exactly the same thing Morton Carlson's doing. Turned the team around and took them to win the championship.
Right, so rode that wave.
It's just, it's all happening again by the looks of it here at Championship Soccer Stadium. It's just the way Orange County have not strangled Charleston, but just dealt with everything they've thrown at them. They've never been too worried. They've constantly looked to catch them on the counter-attack and to get forward. And they did exactly the same thing against Pittsburgh. It's this mentality and ability to give nothing away and to remain calm in the process. It's, I mean, these are two of the top sides in the East, Pittsburgh and Charleston.
And to capture 6 points instead of maybe a couple, certainly something. And you don't have to always win flashy. If you can win ugly and grind out contests and get 3, that's all you need.
Well, that's what they've done with their last 3 home games, all 1-0 wins. But on the road, when they've had to come out and win big, they've been able to do that. And you have a look back at the last away match, the win away at San Diego by 3-1, having gone 1-0 down. They beat Memphis 4-3 away. I mean, when they have to attack and score a ton, they can. When they have to defend and win 1-0, they can. That's, again, I think I'm giving away perhaps too much plaudits to a team that isn't top.
Not yet.
But they're on their way up there, so watch out, San Antonio and Sacramento Republic.
Yeah, as it said, they are on the come right now at a great pace. And that man right there, Colin Shuttler, on the verge of earning his 8th clean sheet of the season and the 9th for the club. Final whistle is blown, and we have reached full time. And for the 6th consecutive match in a row, Orange County SC has prevailed. They have been the stronger team, they've been the better team, and tonight was no different. A great opening sequence for them. Brian Olaski, Owen Lamb did the damage. Colin Shuttler between the pipes. A clean sheet for him.
Yeah, perfect game for Orange County. Can't find fault with anything they've done. Charleston Battery tried, but Morton Carlson's team there just absolutely top class for the 2nd match in a row. Ben Pearman, you can just see him on the bottom of your screen a moment ago. Frustration, they just couldn't find a way through. They just, you know, they couldn't get Augie Williams into the match, and Ben Pearman now complaining about something with the referee. But in the end of the day, Charleston Battery just couldn't find a key to unlock the Orange County door.
And the incredible play of the match, right here, presented by John's Incredible Pizza. Brian Olaski, his 1st of the year.
Yeah, it's a great free kick, no question about that. Is it better than Owen Lamb's header and volley? Difficult to say, they're both brilliant. But that got the breakthrough for them. It got them in 1-0 ahead just before halftime and put them in a great position to go on and win this match.
And our Uber Eats man of the match is number 10, Brian Olaski.
Right, well, Milan Olaski, stand aside. He probably won it last week. His brother Brian wins it this week.
Well, all good. They take 6 points from a couple teams in the Eastern Conference. Orange County prevails again here tonight. They've won their 12th match of the season, 7th at home, and they have won 6 in a row. Brian Olaski leading the charge, 2-0 the final here tonight.
Every person has inherent existing potential. Each one of us can move better, feel better, and perform better. Our goal is to create a movement culture that facilitates thriving, challenges the norms, and optimizes the human experience by providing the highest quality physical therapy. Whether you're returning to sport or simply seeking to live your best life, reimagine physical therapy. Discover your potential.
This match tonight presented by Hoag and Hoag Orthopedic Institute, the official hospital and healthcare partner of OCSC. And once again, the Noah Bernard Out Foundation wants to remind fans never to drink and drive. Get home safely. And with Gary Bailey, I'm David Gascon. We put a bow on this thing on a fine Saturday night. Gary, full-time highlights, shall we?
Yeah, let's start with Brian Olaski just before halftime. That free kick, which was the big moment of the match. bends it beautifully, gets it over the wall, gets it to dip, and gets it to curl away from Trey Muse. It's got absolutely no chance whatsoever. That's a Lionel Messi style free kick, not giving the keeper any chance to get on the end of it. They had other chances, Orange County, here and there. They handled the second half beautifully. They kept all the pressure down. But look at this. Owen Lamb wins the header, then the volley. I mean, it's not just the great strike, it's the determination to win this. This is Derek Dodson's ball. He comes in, wins it, settles himself, and absolutely thumps it. This is a great view here. Look at it from behind the strike. The dip and the power. That's a brilliant finish from Owen Lamb. So what a match for Orange County here tonight.
Man, he was juiced up tonight. Great strike by Lamb, his second goal of the season, 2-0 the final. And the beat goes on for Orange County. They've now won 6 in a row and 9 of 10. Shots went their way, shots on target went their way, even pretty much across the board, but it was fun for the home team.
Yeah, shots on target in particular. Orange County with 5. Charleston Battery just won. They just couldn't create good chances. Augie Williams was very quiet, and what is normally a very good offensive side just couldn't get going tonight.
And for Charleston Battery, they fall to 12-7-7 on the year, 43 points. Orange County SC improves the record now to 12-9-4. They're now third in the Eastern Conference, 7-4 at home, and also they've won 6 in a row. For Gary Bailey, I'm David Gaskin. Hope you enjoyed this one. Brian Olosky, the game-winning goal. In the 45th minute, Orange County wins it 2-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.